taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You are not as tough as
I'm back, you know that I never left. I got tracks and some music that you never guessed. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, 'cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
you are not as tough though.
Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots, who are not as tough as me. Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see. And I ain't playing games, I create my own lane, making pleasure out of pain, turning losses into gains. I'm the boss, I'm making change. I've been rocking this exchange, popping off and risking things. Gonna make a fucking name, I just wanna be famous. But I don't want that cheap fame, no I'm not that vain. I just wanna be greatness. 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 Ain't no motherfucker in this world could do it like me. Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. Okay, I'm going off every chance I get. I don't really take a loss, well, I'll admit. That's why I'll make it to the top, yeah, I commit. And no, I'm never getting lost, I get after it. Investing in my own stock, cause it's faster than any crypto hits go, let me spend. Everything that you see is something I invent. And it's only a percent. I'm gonna take shots. If I miss all, forget it. I'll take a fat loss just to learn all that's in it. I'm taking snapshots, learning how to fall and get it. I'm getting back up, always stand tall, don't sweat it. I never back up, I don't miss a thing or regret it. I'm always learning, you could call me academic. I'm always working, never been apathetic. Bad energy is like a poison, needs some antiseptic. Ain't no motherfucker in this
losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Hey kid, don't ever get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb. think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up. Cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. Then it's your chance to be ruthless. I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head, constantly thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything. If I could see my dreams, cause I'll do anything to make one a reality. Don't let go. I'll make things right, cause I'll do anything to make one a reality. I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this. I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many ones that are so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
Hello and welcome to the Smite Draft League. We've got week 2 premiere action, baby. I'm Anthony, and I've got KingFsher with me. Are you ready to get into picks and bans?
I am extremely ready. It should be a really good start for our week 2 as we got Wild Inferno taking on Guns and Saki. Guns and Saki did win due to a forfeit last time, so this is going to be our first time seeing that team.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to see what they've got, and, you know, having that record advantage is meaningful, but I'm more interested in seeing really how their team play comes to fruition. I've been really enjoying that from Premiere because it's been very different from what we've seen in both Challenger and the community tournaments.
Yeah, it's definitely been stepping it up a level, but as we do get into bans here, is there anything in the bans that stands out to you, I guess, besides the obvious Hades?
I like the AMC ban. I like the Khepri ban. Morgan is an interesting one for me, just in the sense that we don't know if it's a comfort ban, target ban, or just strength, because with Morgan it can kind of always be any of those three things. The first pick, Ymir, strikes me as interesting. I'm not sure if that's somebody that they needed to prioritize, so to speak,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, probably isn't not really the highest up on the support tier list right now, but I think always kind of a really strong pick. Maybe it's a certain comp they want to go for, or maybe they've scrimmed this team and trying to get in some counter picks. but a Daji jungle. Normally don't see it that high up, but that's a jungler that I really like. A ton of CC and value coming out from that.
And that's a jungler that so far we have seen in the SDL be incredibly highly valued, as the same goes with Neja and Horus for that matter. It seems like these teams are really valuing those strong, impactful ultimates that can, at the bare minimum, burn purification beads, and at the maximum, get you as many kills as possible.
Yes, now we see the Vulcan locked in. That's a pick has really been picking up popularity. We saw it a couple times in our Joust tournament last week. I've seen it in the SPL once or twice, doing really, really good. Obviously, that Backfire being changed to not a movement ability helps him get out of a lot of tough situations that a lot of other mages really can't right now. So really good, safe pick there in mid.
We do see a Cupid ban too, and Cupid has been a character that has just been running damage in the SDL so far. He's been impactful in almost every game he's in. So I'm happy to see that ban come out, get him off the board, and not have to deal with the Fields of Love, the Heart Bomb, and surprisingly, because normally it's not that big of an issue, the sustain.
Yeah, we really have seen that trend lately. A lot of the team fights, I think we talked about it last week in that, like, what was it, hour and 10-minute game? They are going on for so long because there's so much sustain from Yemojas, Cupids, both of which ban this game, so hopefully we're going to see a lot more concise, a lot more aggressive style play from these teams.
We do see the Ho Yi ban come out, which, you know, on the same wavelength as the Ymir getting picked early. I'm not sure I'm huge on the Ho Yi ban. Maybe it's a target ban or just trying to limit the ADCs and kind of get some control over what ADCs get picked. Followed up by the Kurnanos ban. But yeah, I'm never big on a Ho Yi ban because I feel like it's very easy to control a Ho Yi.
Yeah, pains me to see that Cernanos ban, obviously the best god in the game, but clearly respecting it enough to take it out. You think that's got to be a comfort ban? It's picked a few times, but not really top charts right now. Is a Guan Yu last ban. We have seen that a couple times. To its credit, Guan Yu has worked out really well, and I think every game we've seen.
Yeah, and I think it's been mostly that ultimate, which is funny because every time we see it get picked or banned out, especially for our league specifically, we keep pointing out that he could possibly be bullied out of being relevant. But every time I've seen him picked, at least in the games I've casted, that ultimate is a game changer and has really, you know, driven these teams far.
Yeah, it's kind of odd to see. There are a lot of picks this season I thought we would see or wouldn't see, but I think much more so than last season, the meta is a little less defined and there's more stuff that can work. Speaking of stuff that can work, that is going to be a Camazotz, which I think raises the question. Horus and Camo, which one's going solo, which one's going jungle? Oh wait, oh no, it's a Daji. Horus support? I guess?
Yeah, and it's so weird that you actually sometimes see these things run the way they were not intended, but you know, kind of the OG ways that they were played. But I'm kind of not huge on this draft so far. Oh no, not a Shibalanke, my favorite character, as we all have come to know about me. But I really want to see a impactful ADC because I think they really need it with that team comp. And the X-Ball gets locked in, much to my disappointment.
Yeah, I personally do like X-Ball a lot. I think that Global Ultimate is extremely valuable. I think people kind of overlook just how harmful it is not being able to see more than 20 feet or so. I don't even know the in-game measurements. But I think, like you were saying, with this team comp now, their only source of magical damage is that Vulcan. So this either needs to be an insanely high damage ADC, or we see something like a magical ADC. I guess Vulcan is played in ADC occasionally. Do you think there's any chance we see that here, or more of a traditional pick?
I always love a good mage ADC, but they are not the most popular right now. But so I don't expect to see that as much as I'd like to. I actually think there's a better chance of seeing that Vulcan ADC as opposed to a mage ADC, as we see the Jingwei potentially coming out. That's the first time I've seen one in the SDL. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it should be interesting, but I think there's only so much we can speculate at from here on the desk, so we are going to throw it to break. We will be right back with game number 1 of week 2.
searching. Pain is never really permanent, but damn it hurts, man. I could feel all of the turbulence and it's concerning. I've been searching for a purpose, I hope it's worth it. This society is really trying me. Ain't no hide and seek, I hide to be far from anxiety. I need my space, I need my privacy. I need some silence, please, you're all too loud. You don't speak quietly, opinions violently thrown across every surface. It makes me nervous. Is the world honestly burning? That's all I'm learning. Hope that we can make a turn and start reversing all our minds and put the work in. We got some work, man. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Gotta get through this, life is a nuisance, tie up some loose ends. I try to be human, find a solution, my evolution. A place like this, it didn't exist, we made it like this. So you can go pick the bad or the good, got a glass halfway. I know, it's easier to hide than just to lay low. Not everyone in life has got a halo. I'm standing in the red inside a payphone. Just wanna break, no, I'm not gonna give in. Take a last shot, Michael J. Win. No, I'm not a robot, I'm in my own skin. Never get lost when thoughts pull you in. I miss the old you, we died with a purpose. All the energy around me felt nervous. Scared I would pop off fast to the surface. Had to cut it off before you made me worthless. Torn apart, I've been torn and scarred. I had a given art, but now I'm thinking smart. I'm keeping up my guard, I'm hiding every card. A royal flush of love, you never know what's hard. With a back to the mat, gonna see where I'm at. I'ma fight like I'm mad, I'ma be something that they can never be me. Nice try, but they'll see I achieve everything while they stay salty. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through.
Guns and sake, wild inferno, sounds like a crazy night. I'm Anthony, he's KingFsher. Let's do it! Week 2 Premier League.
Yeah, starting to get into it now as we see a four-man Guns and Saki invade. This is the type of action we were missing week one. I don't know how much is going to come of it, though, if they're going to stay here or go back before the game starts.
Yeah, they might just be getting some toxic wards out, trying to announce their presence, maybe say hellos, how's the wife, how's the kids, but there could also be some blood involved. So we're going to have to wait and see how it folds out. They're going to back up for now. Wild Inferno kind of looked like they were inviting the fight, but the dual lane of Sake still peeking around, taking their time walking back. I don't know if I like the commit. Ymir better start walking back.
Yeah, I think he's headed on his way now, but before all that fun action starts, we do have a couple interesting things going on with the builds. It's going to be a Bracer of Radiance for Horus in support. Now Camazot's going kind of towards a new build. I think the build normally goes into Blackthorn Hammer second, but looks like he's heading into something in the Morningstar tree.
And Ymir and Horus decided they wanted to sit there and scream at each other over by the purple buff, and both ADCs had to solo the support buff. It looks like Ymir really wants to try to steal this purple buff. He's setting up for it. He gets it! The patience pays off! What a start for Guns and Sake. Not sure I'm the biggest fan of it, but it was effective nonetheless.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works. I do think they might lose a little bit of wave pressure here, but they do take over to level 2 first, and aggression from the ADC.
Control decided to dash in over in the solo lane. Oh, Migii's gonna fall. It's a first blood for Guns and Sake to go along with that purple buff. They're off to a great start at 1 minute in.
Yeah, already off to a couple early advantages. Slayer is going to pick up that first blood over the Dodgy, who I think is a really high aggression character. Early game does a lot of damage, so probably good on the Neja, getting off to that early lead. Now, Interceptor, I think we've talked about it a few times where they should prioritize it, and Guns and Saki can take that one right away, give it over to Univerie.
And the sash. Slayer showing that he can hit it, but Dodgy showing she can do damage. Oh, but just that bit of health, the backfire from EmojiDaddy is going to pick up the kill. You're not getting away today, Slayer.
Yep, first kill, first death. Luckily for him, though, should not fall too far behind after picking up that first blood, so should still be pretty on level with Dodgy, and able to upgrade his next item, too. So maybe not the worst trade if you're Neja. You just get a little bit of quicker back there.
Yeah, it's weird. Guns and Sake looked like they kind of had things under control, but it's pretty quickly it's turned back to being all even Stevens. It shows how, like we said, that purple buff might not be the most impactful thing. Taking that pressure away from Horus was a really good play, but they didn't really do much with that pressure, at least when it comes to duo lane. So I'm curious to see if that's going to be impactful for this Ymir going forward, losing out on that early farm or not, as we do see a blue buff invade, and they're going to be able to get it away, and they're going to take Love's life with them. Another great invade from Guns and Sake, and the freeze from Ymir with the wall a little bit off to the side. Not going to be able to help. The Purification Beads comes out from Control. Might have been a bit of an early beads there.
Yeah, I don't know how much I like that call. I think just trying to continue the aggression there. Hopefully you get a kill. Even without a kill, they are going to go for that purple buff, or maybe just take the side minions. Guns and Saki kind of flexing their muscles early as Neja, with one early kill, one early buff invade. Things are going great for the Order side jungler so far.
Yeah, a lot of interesting playmaking around the map, really, from Guns and Sake. So far, it has paid dividends, though, as I like to steal your catchphrase. But I did notice that the Horus is still hanging on to a Hog. So I guess it was not used during that purple invade.
Yeah, kind of odd. I mean, I think that did more damage than Ymir's line at level 1. Probably could have secured it. But who knows, maybe helps him secure a further buff invade, or just going to use it here when they clear the purple one. But no, still holding on to the hand of the gods. You should find some pretty good value late. Now in mid, both take over to level 5, 3 minutes in. That's what you like to see if you like your mid lane, and everybody knows I do.
We do see a first item Brawler's Beatstick come out from the Neja played by Slayer. What do you think? What do you think they're trying to accomplish with the Beatstick here?
I mean, the early power is really nice, as well as a flat pen. I don't know how much he needs it for sustain. I think Camazot's really the only character this early that would warrant it, because this Neja has not been over to duo yet, so that Horus heal kind of out of the loop, I guess, but it is a pretty good stat stick. I think it's 50 power, 15 penetration, so Neja should be hitting really, really hard early on.
Love went in a bit deep and got caught out by Snooze, and now the chase ensues, but no kill quite yet. Love is still only level 4, and now Migii's hanging around the corner. They're going to look for a bit of an unconventional defense of their blue buff, as Snooze is a bit ahead of them trying to take it away. But here comes Slayer. This could change the tides of this fight, and it will, as the Camazotz stashes away with perfect timing, as he was not alone, as Ostrich showed their head too.
Yeah, could use a Hand of the Gods there on the Camazotz, but unfortunately still is in the hands of Horus. Now Scorpion invade. The Vulcan ult's way too early, just going to help him along. Unfortunate timing there for EmojiDaddy, who had a really good game last week, and I'd like to see him continue that play.
Yeah, the ultimate was just a bit off. Even a half a second more, I think, would have been the perfect timing. We do see an XP and gold difference really starting to sling the way of Guns and Sake. That is coming from those invades, that pressure, the first blood. A lot of small things adding up to make a big difference early on here for Guns and Sake.
Yeah, and it's really impressive to see that 2,000 gold lead, I think, with the way they've been playing. We've seen that a few times throughout week 1 and the couple tournaments we've had. But I think normally it's been because there's a lot of kills. They've only had 2. They are really relying on jungle pressure, buff invades. And they're doing it all super cleanly. And keeping control of their own, too. Is that mid lane going to be forced to back away? Is now Totem Aku, I believe, falls to Snoozism, but I could be wrong.
And we did see an attempted red buff invade from Wild Inferno, but the meatball was not good, as ChubbyOstrich very intelligently pulled the red buff out of the way, so the meatball didn't hit. So small but great mechanic that I really always enjoy to point out.
Yeah, the meatballs are hard to hit on Vulcan, too, in all fairness to Mr. EmojiDaddy. I played Vulcan one time this weekend, and that was enough. I didn't want to do it anymore. I couldn't hit anything. It's now EmojiDaddy's gonna get hit by 3 people all at once. It's a big game.
And there's the sash, looking for the follow-up. The ultimate takes him into the air. Uno, dos, tres, sees fall into Ymir. Great follow-up there from the support going the way of Guns and Sake, but now the fight's going to rage on over by the Fury. X-Ball shows his head. He beat Jingwei here. Slayer gets the kill onto Love, and now Peer Pressure finds himself alone in the red buff with not a friend around. Going to try to Horus ult out of there, and it's going to be in time. He gets away with an eensy-beensy bits of health. Beautiful escape there.
I don't know if I want to call that a great play or a lucky play, but I'm going to go with great play by Horus, knowing when he has to take to the skies and get back down. Keeps himself alive, but great gank from Guns and Sake to get 2 more kills. That gold lead expands to about 3,500 now. Wild Inferno could find themselves in a really early hole if they don't do something to remedy this. But if you are Wild Inferno, what can you do to kind of stop the bleeding a little bit here?
I think you've got to reset, and you've got to look at how Guns and Sake is playing this. They are not going for kills. They're finding the kills as they're venturing around to steal your jungle. So if you can reset and kind of get control back of your own jungle, maybe you can stop some of this bleeding in these team fights to allow yourself to farm up and even the field back out.
Yeah, and I think some wards too. I don't think they're exactly slacking on those. We do see them all over the map. But Guns and Sake, they've been rotating as 3- and 4-man pairs. So the sooner they can catch those out, the safer is. The dodgy dives in aggressive.
Love went on Ostrich, and the Ymir wall causes some separation, but a little angled again. Not sure if Ymir failed geometry in high school. Have to check the records on that one, but so far those walls have not been incredibly impactful. I'd like to see him try to straighten them out a bit more and use them a little bit differently. It helped that time, but I saw it early on in the fight that we saw over by the red buff before. The wall was kind of a bit early. Want to see him tighten it up going forward as we see Peer Pressure run into Slayer. Speaking of that red buff, and now the Gold Fury might be getting pulled.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Univerie lost too much health, maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. Luckily for the Ymir, a few missed walls at the beginning won't be too bad. Great job forcing out the Horus ult as Peer Pressure has to get away. Good job from the Neja anticipating the ult.
That's the second time that Peer Pressure's had to use that ultimate just to escape. And now Love finds himself getting bullied by Snoozism again. He's chasing him all the way down. The Neja takes off EmojiDaddy and picks up the kill. The Vulcan ultimate's going to be no good. Migii's trying to find his damage, but he can't quite do it. And Snoozism still fighting by the tier 2. Is somebody going to go help Jingwei? Snoozism will think better of it and leave Tomcatt alone to focus his attention to the Gold Fury with his team.
Yeah, and that should be a really easy Gold Fury. A pre-10-minute Gold Fury. Don't see a ton of those anymore. But really good play by Guns and Saki. They are now firmly in the lead. I believe about 5,000 now, ticking up there. Yeah, 5,200. And look at the player damage charts. It is straight blues across the board, except for the poor Ymir. Still down towards the bottom, but he's a support. I think they can live with that.
Make Ymir's walls do damage. That's what I say. If we can do it for
Just
Thor,
like
we can do
Thor.
it for Ymir. Yep.
Yep. That'd be awesome. But unfortunately, Ymir walls cannot do damage. It might be a different story if they could.
Once again, Snoozism sniffs out Love, and it's going to make him go through that wall to hit the Harpies. He's once again considering the chase onto Love. He's been pressured out by Snoozism and chased around this entire game. For a solo laner, the rotations from Snooze this game have been absolutely insane. He's found himself all over this map.
Yeah, really been getting around there, more so than the Camazotz, which I think is a little bit surprising. Camazot's pretty high mobility, a pretty fast god. But Snoozism does have the tower teleport as Guns and Saki confirm the Pyro, and they are on an absolute tear. Oh, and TomCatt
Over in the
might be going
duo
down.
lane, TomCatt's getting low and quick. Control wants the solo kill. TomCatt just wants to get out of here alive. But he might have held on long enough behind that castle wall as Love shows his face with a Horus as well. Here they come quick, but the ultimate isn't going to be able to do anything really as Control accidentally stepped into the perfect position.
Yeah, good backing off there by the Jibalunk, not putting himself in harm's way. Now, something I want to talk about, that is a Breastplate of Valor, second item on the Yu Huang. I don't know if it's necessarily needed. It hasn't been under much pressure, but that should allow Ostrich to play a lot more aggressive this game.
And I think we have seen that so far.
We
and
have?
it's been effective, very effective. I think we've seen so much aggression from Guns and Sake and just the confidence, and that was before that Breastplate of Valor came online. So I'm just excited to see it go forward.
I thought you meant we had seen Breastplate before. I was like,
I just
am
wanted to
pretty
scare
sure
you
we
a little
have
bit. I
not.
like to keep you on your tippy toes.
Well, thank you for that. Giving me a heart attack in the middle of cast, but unfortunately, I think that is the first Breastplate we see out of mid. Now, Snoozism takes over to level 12. I believe the first in the lobby. Oh no, X-Ball was already there. These side lanes for Guns and Saki are really allowing that mid 3v3 to roam all over the map with really no penalty.
Yeah, that's kind of been the story of this game. Just the roaming, the rotations, the control. And they might have finally... Nope, they thought they caught out Ostrich, and Ymir turned right around that corner at the perfect time to get them to back away. And yeah, the story has just been the control from Guns and Sake. This is... So far early, this is a dominant performance. It might not show up crazily in the scoreboards yet, but it's there. You can feel it.
Yeah, now I kind of want to look to them to start transitioning to the mid game, because I think we're at that point. People are taking over to double digits. The early game is over. It's now about how are you able to push down those towers? How's your neutral objective control going to be? And so far, it's been excellent. Because now they're not going for as many buff invades back camps, but they have been getting on the Gold Furies and Pyromancers really effectively to keep their lead going. Wild Inferno is going to have to start mounting really good defenses, and I think that starts with the Vulcan and the Horus. Those two are so impactful on OBJ play.
Yeah, if there's one thing that Wild Inferno has going in this team comp, it is their defense capabilities. It's pretty significant. Snooze is picking up some major damage onto Migii. Love's here, but Snooze is a pretty fed boy. And now big damage coming in, but it's getting returned as Migii goes up into the sky. Starts getting some huge damage. Here's a Daji ultimate, but it's going to be no good due to the crowd control immunity that came out that you harped on in the picks and bans.
Yeah, and there is a lot. I think every single member has at least one, if not two, abilities that are CC immune. So Wild Inferno, they're going to need to play careful around their engages. Sure, they get their beads, they just ult, and then you're in a world of hurt. But luckily, they do repel the kill from that Shiva, so Snoozism isn't going to tick to level 14 just yet. Still in the jungle, though. He is feeling himself today.
Yeah, and he has not been punished yet for it. Daji is going to go in on him, but instantly back away. This has basically been a 1v2 in the solo lane for the last 2.5 minutes, and somehow they have not picked up the kill onto Snooze. We'll see if that affects Love's farm, as he was already falling a bit behind in that category.
Yeah, I mean, they did get a bit of damage on them, but Shiva kind of just healed him back up under tower. Now, like you said, Lover needs to keep up. Now, 2 levels behind this Migii, same with the solo lane. Level difference, normally, sometimes you can overlook it, but it can become really bad really fast. Especially the more Wild Inferno is forced out of these objectives, forced out of their control, the harder it's going to be for them to catch up. If I'm Guns and Saki, I am going to this Primal Fury right now and having that Shiva rotate over. Camazot's already on his way to left side.
So while we have a moment here, take me through these ADC builds, which are the only builds we have not really dived into yet. Do you like where they're heading with these Executioners into a Wind Demon? As hold that thought, you have time to think on it, because Primal Fury is getting pulled and burnt by Wild Inferno. But Guns and Sake has sniffed it out in the perfect time. Purification Beads comes out from control. He does not have that going forward. Migii takes up Peer Pressure into the sky, but does not find the kill. Vulcan Ultimate did some good damage onto Ostrich. They're going to chase them all the way back to Purple and Tier 2. Splitting off into 2. Slayer gets the kill onto EmojiDaddy. 2 members trying to back underneath that Tier 2 tower. And all of a sudden, Wild Inferno, who pulled the Fury to start this, loses the pressure to Guns and Sake.
Yeah, and I do love the thought from Wild Inferno to try and start up that Fury and get aggressive. Unfortunately, not going to work out as they're going to be forced out yet again. I don't know about that call. Guns and Saki dropping the Fury.
Tomcat gets blown up by control. And now we'll see if they'll turn their attentions once again to this Fury. Who else is going to die at this point? Maybe let them have it. We'll see if they can get the steal. Peer pressure is here. It's going down fast, but Guns and Sake are going to get the secure and get the Primal Fury at 15 minutes.
Now, luckily, with the break in the action, we can go back to the ADC builds a bit, as it is 6,500 gold up for Guns and Saki. But I really like the crit build definitely out of the Shiva Lonk. I think it pairs really well with him. Especially looking at Wild Inferno's draft, the Camazots, the Dodgy, the Horus, all picks that really like to dive you, make you uncomfortable. That crit is really going to dispel them. They're going to need some spectral armors there. I think same thing on the other side. Migii and Shiva are extremely annoying to get off yourself. So I think crit is definitely the right call here for these hunters. Not a really normal build path we've seen this season though, so I'm excited to see if it'll work out or not.
Yeah, I always find myself torn between which build path I prefer, going that crazy penetration build that can kind of blow up a tank, or going that crit build that can kind of blow up anybody. But I'm excited to see how it plays out, as we do see the Pyromancer getting pulled, but maybe just considering it, not fully committing quite yet. They got down the half, but Guns and Sake is thinking better of it and walking away.
Yeah, not fully walking away. Looking over here onto the Camazots. Kama should be safe into the skies. The bat gets away.
No. Migii survives. He gets back underneath his tier 1, but over in the dual lane, things are not looking as good for Tomcat, who's getting pressured out quickly. Darkest of Nights makes Tomcat use his ultimate to get out of there before he gets soloed.
Yeah, good ult usage from Tomcat there, not waiting too long to stick around. Obviously, that given X-Ball the, I think, nearly double range auto attack, so smart call. Now, Pyromancer has opened up. They saw the support in mid go over to red buff. This is their chance, and they are going to burn it before anybody else gets there. Guns and Saki take an even bigger lead, up 8,000 gold at 17 minutes.
I'll point it out when I don't like it, so I'll give you credit when I do like it. A very nice wall there from Ymir that defended that Pyromancer. Migii gets brought down to a quarter health. Over in the dual lane, Tomcat soloed. His team's not doing as bad over in solo. They're chasing them down, but Migii and Slayer are about even health. Slayer not afraid to go in with no health, picks up the kill, but gets returned. And he's down, and now the chase goes the way of Guns and Sake. EmojiDaddy's trying to get away, but he gets pulled back in. Dropping down quickly. He's frozen. He's dead. ChubbyOstrich gets the kill onto EmojiDaddy, and Migii and Love just got to get out of there before it's too late.
Yeah, good fight there from Guns and Saki. Luckily for Wild Inferno, picking up the jungler is kind of going to limit the Order team's capabilities here. Obviously, Fire Giant, I think the only really big objective on the map right now. Kind of hard to do that when you're one man down. But maybe the towers start getting looked at. They got a decent wave in mid, but just going to let it go. Ungiven. But do you think the next priority is going to be on the Fire Giant, or are we going to see a couple more team fights and maybe a tower push before that happens?
I think with this lead that you have on Guns and Sake, I think it's actually a good time to push out the pressure onto that Fire Giant. And at the very minimum, get Wild Inferno to engage with you there, because you're gonna win these fights right now. You have the advantage. So if you can put that pressure on Fire and make them head over there, keep them even more behind as they're struggling to farm while you're pulling ahead, you can kind of get that lead to snowball a bit if you can win that fight.
Yeah, and this is going to be the fire call as they start pushing both trebuchets up. Wild Inferno going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. Either defend Fire Giant, maybe get it and lose both their towers, or keep their towers, lose Fire Giant, and then probably lose some towers. So either way, not really a win-win situation here if you're a fan of Wild Inferno.
And if they ran it down, they might have beat them there, but they gave Wild Inferno just a couple of seconds of time to regroup. But they still haven't headed towards Fire. I'm not sure if they haven't quite figured it out yet or what, but Fire Giant is getting pulled and it's going down quick. It's already lost half its health, and Migii's just now getting there. Brought up in the back. Looks like it's EmojiDaddy. He goes down quick, and now Guns and Sake's heading over to pick up the kills. EmojiDaddy, though, gets a kill onto Slayer. Snooze gets a kill on EmojiDaddy, and we're throwing hands in the mid lane. It's time for a big fight. Love gets stuck behind the wall, and Ostrich gets the final kill. Tier 1 tower falls. Migii's getting low. He's got to back out of there. Jingwei is solo pushing over in the duo lane, but this does open up a good opportunity for a Fire Giant.
Yeah, I won't lie, I don't love the call there to back off a Fire Giant on the first part. Luckily, I think still should get it unless peer pressure does something miraculous here.
And he blinks through the wall from Ymir, but he might have done that play a little too soon. Fire Giant down to about a quarter health. Peer can't find an opening. Migii's trying to get there. Not going to be in time. Guns and Sake secure the Fire Giant at 20 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, good job on the Fire Giant, but unluckily they took so long to do it that now Tomcatt able to get this tier 2 tower and should get away pretty safely. Yep, they're just going to back there. So now a tier 1 and a Fire Giant, they're going to need to find some big value here if they kind of want to recoup their losses there on the left-hand side.
Really good maneuver there by Tomcatt. There wasn't really anything he could have done to help with that Fire Giant. I think if he shows up, he dies. So getting that tier 1, that tier 2, getting some gold, catching back up to control on Guns and Sake, all great moves.
Yeah, definitely, and trying to close the gap here. Still only about 8,000 gold up despite getting a tower and the Fire Giant, so credit to Wild Inferno keeping it even. Now Oni Fury, this is going to make it really hard for them to defend. Those Oni waves going to push up massively and should probably take the left here if that's where they choose to go. And they do. 5 people piling onto left, that should be at least a tier 2. But Wild Inferno on the right side are going to do the same thing.
Yeah, they're pushing down in response to the push up from Guns and Sake. Be a really early base race, but I think they're committing to it so far. Tier 2 getting pushed by Guns and Sake, and Tier 2 getting pushed by Wild Inferno, and Jingwei's not even there yet. Tier 2 is going to fall for Guns and Sake, and now Wild Inferno is making the call to back to defend this Phoenix. And here comes the Phoenix push. They arrive, but is it in time? Big damage going the way of Guns and Sake onto Wild Inferno. Peer pressure's down really low. He's got to get out of there. But Ymir is falling down as well. Snoozism finally gets the kill onto Peer Pressure. He gets a double kill onto Love. And now everybody in Inferno's got to get back before they lose too much. TomCatt's getting blown up. Triple kill for Snooze. And now Migii finds him stuck in his fountain. He's just trying to get out, defend what's left of his Titan, but it's not going to be enough, as it looks like Game 1 is going to go the way of Guns and Sake.
Yeah, you know, I don't think I was 100% serious when I said a base race, but I guess it took me literally. Guns and Sake absolutely burn it down. Great play call from the Order side team. Unfortunately for Wild Inferno, not catching on soon enough, going to be a little bit late to the defense. Guns and Sake take map 1.
Yeah, for a second, I actually liked the call to pressure out and respond, but I don't like how it ended up. I think they backed a little too late. I think if they backed even 15 seconds sooner, they could have set up for a much better defense than what we saw there.
Yeah, almost like would have liked to see them give up that Phoenix there. It was already about a third of the health bursted down when they finally got on. Unluckily for them, though, little bit, I mean, admittedly, a very, very small miscall, but the smallest mistakes can lead to losses. So unfortunately for them, they are going to let map number 1 slip out of their hands.
And with that, we'll be right back in the Smite Draft League with game number 2. We'll see you right here.
taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take a new song. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots.
You were not as tough as.
The story of game number 1 was map control, and more map control. Will it be different this time? Let's find out. I'm Anthony. I've got KingFsher with me and iNooblet on production. Are you ready, King?
I am. I'm really excited to see what Guns and Saki come out with after the game 1 there, because I think that Wild Inferno going to be a lot more ready for what they're trying to do on the map, a lot better response to the aggression, so I think the pressure kind of falls over to Guns and Saki to see if they can keep it up and what they're going to have to change.
We do see a Ymir ban come out alongside the Khepri ban. Do you think that's a target ban, or do you think they just want to not deal with it again?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, obviously didn't value it enough game 1, but given the top pick, obviously, something that Univerie is really comfortable on. I think in the end of last game, he did an insanely good job.
Yes, absolutely.
I think smart to ban it out again.
I think by the end there, he really picked it up and was making some nasty plays. Just the separation he was causing, he was able to keep 2-3 members just from even participating. We do see the first pick, Amuz and Cobb. What do you think of that one?
I like it a lot. I think, though, it does kind of give away a little bit of your draft plan towards Guns and Saki. I would bet that is going to be a mid AMC. I think is a lot more viable there than in ADC. Obviously, still pretty good. But given that, can kind of make your draft a little bit around him and should be able to pressure him out of mid lane. Not the most mobile god in the game, to say the least.
Yeah, and AMC for me has always been one of my favorites to both play and to watch, especially when it's driven by somebody who really knows what they're doing and can make the most out of him and position well. And that's going to probably be a big story, is the positioning. It's going to have to be clutch if he wants to survive, as we see the Pele and the Terra come out from Guns and Saki. So a different approach this game.
Yeah, unconventional to say the least. I think both those picks probably could have waited until later on, but I guess they got a comp. They know what they want to do, and credit to them. They are making steps to make that happen. I think Pele we have seen a couple times in this league to pretty good results, admittedly. I think both of the games we've seen her in. Terra, I do not know if we've seen in this league yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the Terra. I feel like Terra and Pele have very good potential to mesh too. They always seem to play well off of each other when done correctly. We see the Ganesh come out potentially for Wild Inferno. I think I like the Ganesh, and it's going to get locked in. I like the Ganesh and what it can do to both set up and protect that Amuz and Cobb.
Yeah, definitely should keep him a little bit safer in the mid lane. I wasn't even going to mention it until it got switched from the Lancelot. We saw TheTomcatt play Lancelot ADC last week. Is there any possibility this is a Guan Yu ADC, or is this just our solo lane pick?
I would love to see a Guan Yu ADC. I don't think so, but with the Premier League, you can never rule anything out, no matter how much you might want to. So I'd love to see it. I doubt it, but I'm not going to completely shut it out.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to be sure, but I think a Guan Yu Ganesh frontline is extremely strong. I think it'd do them really well to kind of stick with that. And I am guessing that's what we're going to see. But with this AMC, do you think, I know we talked about it a little bit last game, is there any chance of a magical ADC, or do they just pick 2 physical and then really, really hope that their Ganesh can do some good damage with those Dharmic pillars?
I think with the Terra, the Pele, and now the Cuckoo come out, I think I want a physical ADC because I need somebody who can get in, blow up the Cuckoo, but still have the ability to handle that Terra. And I don't think a lot of mage ADCs can do all of the above, but I think more physical ADCs can. I like the Cuckoo pick. We did see it picked up in SPL recently, so I'm excited to see it here and see what can be done with it.
Yeah, should be interesting. I think luckily if they do go Mage ADC, that Stinger from Amuse Cobb just absolutely shreds protections. So maybe can afford to, probably not the smartest, but definitely possible. Is now a Ratatasker ban? That has to be a comfort ban? No. Target ban, that's the right word.
Yeah, I kind of forgot what his avatar looked like. Cute,
Yeah,
but
got
lonely.
updated. Yeah, poor rat. No, gets no respect. But now first pick onto the Chaos side team here. So for Guns and Saki, do you think with this first pick they try and grab their ADC, or do they wait and counterpick their solo laner? Which one are you going for first if you're them?
I think it's a really tough call. I think you may be right, and they may counterpick the solo, but I would really like to see them grab their ADC so they can establish their game plan early. While that might give it away, I don't think they want to take the risk of something they want even getting picked up. I think you just want to, whatever plan that you have that you're running into this game with, I want to see it be able to be used.
Yeah, definitely. And I think solo lane counterpicks as well, if we do see that in the 5th pick. Whoever they go for in this ADC and the jungle as well, you're going to be able to respond to them a lot better if you know what's coming. And exactly, it is going to be a Hou Yi pick. We saw him banned first game. Maybe they were just scared of the CtrlAltIEat Hou Yi.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Hou Yi. We do see the Wheelix in response with the on her to boot. I understand that it's very popular. You get a Wheelix, you deal with the jump, but just buy purification beads, and most of the you'll be down for one fight, but that's not completely world shattering for Slayer on the Hou Yi for that Wheelix to get picked. It's something to keep an eye out for, but it's certainly not going to instantly win the game for Wild Inferno.
Yeah, I am a big Wheelix fan. I'm not so sure how much I like it into this only one big leap. I mean, only one leap period with Hou Yi. Especially the rest of her team, not the most set up in the world for it. I believe the only knockup is on her, unless you're counting the 10 inches Ganesh knocks you up at the end of his dash.
And with that, we see the Cthulhu be the final pick. And we're going to leave you here, and we're going to meet you in game, because we've got game number 2 coming right up on the Smite Draft League.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran.
Wild Inferno comes into game number 2, and they want to win back that map control. I'm Anthony. I've got KingFsher with me, and we got Nooblet on production. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a 5-on-3 fight. I think they just straight up want to fight here. There's a blink.
Blink from Love. He's going to go right onto Slayer. Ricochet comes out in response. Love's getting blown up quick. Slayer's getting blown up in the back. First Blood's going to go the way of Wild Inferno. Tomcat got the kill, and Love is getting out with just a sliver of life. We're starting strong.
You know, as entertaining as this is, I so hope this does not become the meta. It's really fun to watch, but luckily they do not lose their Awilix early on. But on her getting a little bit of XP, so I guess good start from Wild Inferno. Hopefully helps him keep a little bit better control. 500 gold up, and the game hasn't even started.
Yeah, I think the kill going to On Her was the best case scenario there. We see the same exact start as we did last time, with the two supports having a bit of a discussion over by the lane. The ADCs soloing the support buffs. I like the early brawl, but I still like the XP more. But yeah, I digress.
Yeah, and now if I'm peer pressure, I'm just helping clear the camp. You still have Hand of the Gods. Doesn't work on enemy camp, so all you gotta do is press Z, or whatever it is. Oh my gosh, thought he used it too late, but he does get it off.
That time, the Hog comes out, and the purple buff is not stolen. He's body blocking to keep the Terra from getting away. A few pokes came on, nothing too crazy. And Ho Yi's gonna dash the wave to get some extra damage on it. On Her is going to leap the rocks. This is going to be a fun duo lane. You can tell from the start here. That was a crazy start to that game.
It was, and we do see Gunzasaki take the early lane lead. It should be pretty inconsequential, I think, though. But over across the map, it's going to be Wild Inferno getting the first Totem Aku. I don't think they did last game, so maybe even the solo lane looking up for him, too.
Yeah, so far, a completely different vibe to the start of this game. Last time, it almost felt like from the beginning, Wild Inferno was fighting with a hand tie behind their back, as we see Love potentially getting caught out in the mid lane. He's losing health fast. AMC's here for the backup, and big damage goes onto the Cuckoo. Will the bees be enough? Not the bees! Cuckoo falls to EmojiDaddy. Over in the duo lane, we're not done fighting. Tomcat gets picked up by Control. The body blocks from Peer Pressure were not enough. He jumps onto Peer Pressure, might be looking for that Ricochet. Terra's right behind him. Ganesh dashes the Ricochet. No stun comes out, so no follow-up kill. Crazy fights to start this game.
Yeah, a lot more aggression than we're used to seeing for sure. Good job from Control to get that kill there. Ganesh trying to body block again. Not going to be successful the second time around, but still Wild Inferno up about that 500 gold. It hasn't changed that much. And I think across the board, we're not seeing as much aggression into enemy jungles. So I think a lot more even game state than what we saw in game 1.
And Migii's got to be careful because the Pele is hanging out looking for that gank, but it's going to turn into a blue invade. Migii wants to defend it, but the Cthulhu zoning him off is just a bit too much, and Awilix did not get there in time. That's a blue buff invade for Guns and Sake, trying to get their game plan from the previous game back going after this strong start from Wild Inferno.
Yeah, and talk about Caster's Curse right when we say not as many buff invades. What is it but a blue invade? And that is going to be Slayer picking that up, but still around equal level with that Awilix. Awilix had 2 assists on the first 2 kills, although Slayer was not involved in either of them, so unfortunately still a little bit behind despite the good farming.
Yeah, and I think we might see that as a theme going forward, as these fights seem to kind of be not random, but we're seeing more splintered off and less easy to predict fights because of these unique game plans. Guns and Sake's game plan is clearly, let's get control of the buffs, get control of the map, and run the game at our own pace. And Wild Inferno's game plan this time was, we gotta stop that from Guns and Sake. We have to do something to keep the momentum on our side and keep Guns and Sake from running us around like a bunch of lunatics, or else we're gonna fall so behind in experience and gold, we won't be able to compete. Love is trying to go alongside that prediction, as he's gonna get the big damage onto Control, who still had Purification beads up. Jump in from Love, trying to secure the kill, but it's still not good. CtrlAltIEat can juke to his heart's desire, but it can't save his life this time. Tomcat finally gets the kill onto him. Slayer's here to protect the Terra, so we're going to have a 3v2 in duo. We'll see if they decide they want to commit to the fight. It looks like they do. Love does miss the knockup, though, onto Slayer, so they're going to have to fall back if they don't want to stay here a bit too long. Big fight again in the duo lane.
Yeah, and I think just before that, you said how Wild Inferno kind of picked their comp around making sure they limit Guns and Sake, keep a little bit of that map control. We see it really well there, an extremely aggressive team comp as Awilix able to help out on that 3rd kill now. for Wild Inferno. Solo lane, still a little bit behind, and that is surprising to me. Cthulhu, not normally the god we associate with really getting an early lead, but I think it might be because of Guan Yu's build. Started tier 1 breastplate. I don't know why, maybe just force a habit.
I was just about to
Not
ask
gonna
you that
be too
Guan Yu
useful.
went to a thrift shop and popped some tags and only got a couple of small items, but Snooze might have gotten caught out at the blue buff. He gets knocked up. He's going to go up into the ultimate and cover up our entire screen as we see him go for the damage onto Love, who has to get out of there. And despite the quarter health, he manages to scare everybody away. So despite the interesting start for Migii, Snooze survives.
Yeah, he is going to live. That Cthulhu ult makes him so hard to kill, especially early game when you don't have a lot of penetration. Can avoid all that CC extremely easily, and with this tower teleport coming back up in 20 seconds, can definitely afford to get back to base, take a break, you know, maybe grab a coffee, something like that. Cthulhu shouldn't lose too much sleep over that failed invade.
Yes, and we do see a Gauntlet of Thieves come out on Ganesh. You and I have had this conversation time and time again. We are Male of Renewal stands in this house, but strong start regardless.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it kind of depends. Obviously, Male of Renewal does fall off late game, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion. But I think Gauntlet of Thieves better for the long haul, so maybe Wild Inferno, predicting a little bit of a longer game than the one we had in map number 1.
Yeah, and obviously it's very good on Ganesh, given that passive, so that could be probably the biggest factor in it. But still something I want to point out, because if you've listened to a single cast between Fish and I, you know that we go to sleep with a picture of Male of Renewal on our pillows.
Indeed we do, and it's very, very soothing. Now Migii trying to get more aggressive, and also I think Snooze has done a really good job at disrupting. Yep, there it is again. That Talao Assault, whenever he tries to charge it up, can't get any wave pressure over there in solo. Speaking of wave pressure, some more fighting in duo gonna come through.
Tomcat might have found himself caught out, but Awilix is here to help him out, and that will be enough to scare away Control and the Terra for that matter.
Yeah, now Kukulkan almost stepped a little bit too far up, but luckily does have the Pele there, going to dissuade any aggression. And yeah, it's a lot more even across the board. Credit to Wild Inferno. They know what they did wrong game 1, and they have remedied it beautifully so far.
But the Pele is showing up as Migii is losing health fast. Here comes the gank, but not as much damage initially as we expected, and the pony will be enough to get Migii away, but he's going to use it to reinitiate onto Snooze, as now he's got Love and Peer Pressure here, but they don't know about the homies coming around the side. Pillars are out. Snooze is dropping fast, but he's up into that ultimate, and it's a game changer as Ostrich picks up a kill. Slayer gets his own, and Wild Inferno thought they had to defense, and all of a sudden everybody showed up for Sake. It's the police, and they're dropping fast.
Yeah, Slayer and Ostrich did a great job that fight, getting the closing damage on Migii and the Awilix. So good job by them. Gunza Sake now take back a little bit of a control, a little less than 1,000 gold. But no buff invades, no camp invades gonna come for it. Look for a red, but unfortunately it's already down. Uh-oh, Tomcat doesn't see the gank. Tomcat could be in trouble.
Tomcat's got to fall back because Pele's trying to do a repeat of the performance from solo lane. And Terra's not far behind, but Ho Yi gives the intentions away. He jumps in with the ricochet, and Pele sees on her go under tower and decides to turn her attentions to potentially more meaningful things.
Yeah, they are going to pick up those oracles, so not a completely wasted rotation. Red buff, though, is going to get kept by Wild Inferno. His first trebuchet of the game goes over to Guns and Saki. Again.
Yeah, we did see that early pressure start to disappear that Wild Inferno worked so hard for between that early fight and then the duo lane pressure. So they gotta reel this back in before we see a repeat of last game.
Yeah, definitely smart to control the bleeding. Now Peer Pressure wants to get aggressive. Maybe a little bit out of position. Not sure what good's going to come of that. Oh, I guess with the Awilix close by. But so is Slayer. It'll be a 3v3 if they decide to try anything here in the middle lane.
And Peer Pressure did not lose as much health as I think Guns and Sake might have been expecting when they caught him out like that. That could probably be chalked up to that Gauntlet of Thebes. So it proved to pay dividends there. Once again, it's still your favorite line.
Yep, I'm gonna change the picture on my pillow to Gauntlet of Thebes now. And we do see some discrepancies in the ADC build. It looks like Ho Yi going for what he went for last game. Gonna be building into crit after what I would assume is an Executioner, but on her goes to Transcendence into, I would assume an Aussie, but I have been wrong before. Maybe an Executioner.
And we've seen Dev Gauntlet start to pick up popularity here very recently. and it's always a strong item. I really value that lifesteal that you get out of it. While other build paths are all viable right now for ADC, I think Devs might be my favorite.
Yeah, I think Devo's Gauntlet always feel good if you're an ADC. I mean, even when they're not the meta, you just feel like you can take on the world when you have them in your kit. So hopefully CtrlAltIEat is feeling the same way. Is now another 3v3 over here and right. No Pyromancer left, still about 15 seconds away. And we saw those Scorpions of Pyromancer start falling really early last game. Do you think we're going to see sort of the same, or is the game state going to limit it a bit more?
I think it's going to depend on the pressure that Guns and Sake can get out. We're seeing Wild Inferno pick their engagements much more carefully, and that could be chalked up to the comp this time being a bit different. You don't want to put in a Wheelix behind. You don't want to put AFC behind. So maybe they're trying to play it smart and keep up with farm and not really worry about the brawling. But Guns and Sake, on the other hand, they want to force that brawling because they want as big of a lead as they can possibly get, because we saw what they can do with the lead.
Yeah, it definitely can. So Scare, if you're Wild Inferno, don't want to let anything go by the wayside. And it is going to be Executioner, first item for both of the Hunters. Not much variety there, but not much you can expect as now Cthulhu finishes off his Breastplate of Valor. And same with the Guan Yu, but Guan Yu a little bit ahead in items as Cthulhu goes towards a little bit of a damage route. You love to see that.
I think that could be something major to watch for as we see the Blink with the ultimate followed up by Cuckoo. The Cuckoo doesn't get the kill, the Terra does, but EmojiDaddy falls regardless.
Yeah, and just like you said, being careful about how Guns and Sake gets aggressive onto the objectives, Pyromancer should fall to them, unless Migii is able to pull something out here. Dharmic Pillar's still up. Oh, is it going to get it?
It gets dropped, but they pulled the Pyro out of the pillars. And Wild Inferno could not quite steal it away, but it was close with that ultimate from Migii, almost with a highlight steal, as we see Honor starting to do a bit of proxying as that Hou Yi vanished from the dual lane.
Yeah, and that might be a tier 1 over here in Dua. Oh no, I don't think he has enough damage. Unfortunately for Peer Pressure, got a little bit too trigger happy with the Dharmic Pillars just a little early. Oh, I don't know why Tomcatt didn't stay in there to finish that, but he's going to be in trouble now as Hou Yi coming back and missing about a third of his health.
They were able to get that tier 1 tower, but Tomcatt, oh no, he'll be able to get away. I thought for a second he might have overextended, but it ended up being a pretty worth it maneuver for Wild Inferno as they get the tier 1 tower in the left lane. But Tomcatt might be staying a bit too long as everybody sniffed him out, but they're going to turn their attention over to the Gold Fury. And I think only AMC knows this is happening. He's heading over on her. Here's the ultimate from Hou Yi, but they're not going to be in time. Guns and Sake with a sneaky Gold Fury at 12 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't really know how Wild Inferno let that one up. They had wards on the Oracles. They had Oracle Vision itself. They definitely saw the Pele there. But it looked like EmojiDaddy really the only one to try and go over to contest. Tomcatt was a bit late. So Guns and Sake now, if you're a Wild Inferno fan, this is what you want to be careful of. Sure, you lost a few objectives. It's 2,000 gold, though. It's not a big deal. I think Wild Inferno just need to settle down and play their game. Don't let Guns and Sake get too much control.
Yeah, and like you said, Tomcatt got there just a bit too late, and he had ultimate, so it could have been a game changer on that Fury. As we do see Slayer drop instantly to a quarter health as he got caught out by Lover and Pressure, but they couldn't quite get the kill. Meanwhile, EmojiDaddy falls very low. He's got to get out of there. He's going to take the Pyromancer route, and he's going to be safe. So all this damage and no kills yet. That's kind of incredible.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess both teams a little bit antsy to get started back up again, but no harm, no foul going to come of it. And now the ADCs, I think for the first time in this game, start to rotate out. CtrlAltIEat better run. He has 3 with a 4th coming in looking for him.
They were having a ward off, and it worked well for him. Migii's using that ultimate to try to get there faster. Everybody's converging on Control. There's the blink from Love, the jump from Hou Yi. But that's why I picked a Wheelix. He gets pulled down, and the kill goes the way of Migii. Control falls, and now we're going to have a bit of a fight in duo. But Peer Pressure seems to be the only one who knows about it. And now his team shows up, but maybe not in time to create anything major off of this.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they did get the kill, so credit for that, but a little bit of a pointless rotation. Didn't really lose anything either. I guess for the Scorpion, Slayer is able to sneak that. Probably still rather have the life than a Scorpion invade, though. Is now mid-tier 1 being looked at by EmojiDaddy. Needs to be careful with ChubbyOstrich and Slayer so close, though.
Yeah, they're getting there quick, but he's got peer pressure, so he's got a bit of confidence. He's going to use that confidence to not fully back and head towards the side camps. And we've got 3 in mid again, as mid lane has been the party zone so far this game.
It definitely has. And now, it's stalled out a little bit. There's not much to do on the map. We have seen a couple of towers getting pushed, but nothing major. As now Wild Inferno maybe has a little bit of a lead. That last kill, I think, established themselves a little bit. And with the only tower taken on the map, maybe the ties shift a little bit, but I would not think much.
We have seen Guns and Sake's game plan not fully come to fruition yet, as Wild Inferno has done a great job of biting it back. But now we see Wild Inferno going really deep. Love and EmojiDaddy are on the other side of the map, and they aren't going to be punished for it. They're going to be able to walk away from that completely free. Looks like Wild Inferno has taken Guns and Sake's game plan and flipped it on its head, as we see a fight break out in the mid lane, and Ostrich gets the kill onto Love. Big pickup there for the Cuckoo.
Yeah, I was going to question why the Oelix kind of just walked out into mid, maybe feeling a little overconfident, but the result is the same, and that is going to be a death. Might be one here.
Uh-oh, Tomcat, get out of there, buddy. Pele's there, and it's going to blow him up. Big gank kill for Pele to play off of the kill in mid from the Cuckoo, and Guns and Sake might be starting to pick up that momentum they so desperately wanted for their game plan.
Yeah, that was a good job by Guns and Sake, catching out a couple members there, Wild Inferno. But with a lot of the neutral objectives down, not much to come of it, they should get this tier 1 over here on the left. So not a bad play by Guns and Sake, as now it falls a little bit more out of contention. 4,000 gold now. That was a really large gold swing for Guns and Sake.
Everything seems to be going right for Wild Inferno, but a couple of small team fights have proved to be the difference maker. EmojiDaddy does get the kill onto the tier 1 tower in the mid lane to try to even things up, and it looks like they're going to go for a sneaky Pyromancer, and nobody's going to get this one except for Wild Inferno. Everybody was back, and Yi was in left, checking out his reflection in the sun. What a sneak by Wild Inferno.
I mean, in all fairness, it is a pretty cool reflection, but Wild Inferno do pick that up, bring it to about 3,000 gold now, so already a really big swing. And with Primal Fury coming up in about, oh gosh, 20 to 30 seconds, should be another pretty big point of contention. That extra damage will be incredibly valuable when they go over to that Fire Giant. You saw it last time, FG was looked at before 30 minutes, and I got no reason to think it wouldn't be the same this game.
I have a feeling, I got a bit of an inkling, that this game is going to be one of those games that gets decided by one absolutely disastrous team fight for one team or the other. I'm not sure who's going to be the one that gets it, but the way that they've been fighting, how brutal things have been, I think we're going to see a absolutely bloody battle. And maybe this will be that first battle as we see the Primal Fury getting pulled back and forth. Cthulhu is around the back, while all 5 members of Wild Inferno are grouped up. No commitment yet, and Lover is going to think better of that fight and go for the purple buff. But Guns and Sake want blood. Blink in the back. Migii finds himself caught out. He's boxing with Terra, but there's no damage going either way. Slayer, though, sneaks around the back, and here's the big blink, followed up by the big ultimate from Cthulhu. Slayer gets the kill, but he's going to die the Tomcat. But health bars are going the way of Guns and Sake. Control gets the kill onto peer pressure. Wild Inferno's dropping fast. Migii's trying to get out of there. He's got everybody on his back, but he might be just enough for Lover to escape the other direction. But this is going to be a completely free Primal Fury for Guns and Sake.
Yeah, and I don't think I really realized until that teamfight just how cursed that Cthulhu skin is. Seeing that just massive pink squid in the sky. And it is a free Primal Fury for Guns and Sake. Really good fight, and they pressured them out incredibly well. Wild Inferno just had to hit the S key as soon as they could. To their credit, though, do pick up one on Slayer, so maybe not too much Guns and Sake can do, as they do have to go push out a few minion waves. Not able to push any further up.
I think Wild Inferno is very lucky that the only commitment came from the Cthulhu, as the blink from Love onto Snooze. Migii gets there in time, but a bit of a questionable blink as far as I'm concerned from Lover. I don't know if he's thinking away from this. There's the ultimate. It connects, but he's got enough health to hold off the damage for now. A series of questionable decisions from Love, but he's ultimately going to be able to get away.
Yeah, maybe I'm just a jungle hater, but definitely a little bit of a weird engage. To his credit, though, pulls out at the right time and barely able to escape that Kukulkan ult, but does stay alive. That's the most important thing. Maybe trying to keep Guns and Saki thrown off their rhythm a little bit. Is now back to about 4,000 gold in the lead. And it looks like they're going to look over at this right side before left. There's still 2 tier 1 towers standing. Both of them are pretty small. They can, finish both.
Hey,
as
Migii, I
Slayer
got a
gets thrown.
surprise for you. The ADC is in solo lane at 19 minutes. Get out of there, bud. He might escape on the horsey with a quarter health, but everybody from Guns and Sake is now converging over into the Fire Giant area, and it looks like they're trying to pull it. I'm not sure if this is a bait or a full commit. Only Peer Pressure and Love are there right now. AMC's working his way there, but Fire Giant's already fallen down to half health. Love's trying to find a position in. I don't know if he's quite going to get it. He's falling down quick to Slayer. Guns and Sake sneak the Fire Giant. Slayer gets the kill onto Love. EmojiDaddy's got a purification beads to get out of there. Peer Pressure and Migii are trying to fend off the onslaught from Guns and Sake. Here's the Cthulhu ultimate. He's going to knock up 3, but no follow-up quite yet. Looks like Guns and Sake is going to try to retreat with their victory, but they sneak the Fire Giant. The Wild Inferno is not quite done fighting. Migii blinks in. He's going to go onto the pony and chase down Ostrich, who's going to quickly hit his Aegis. Tomcat gets the kill onto Terra. Control's got an Aegis. They stayed too long, but Slayer gets the kill under pressure. Slayer dies to Tomcat. That's a double kill. And everybody else looks like they're going to get away, but I think Guns and Sake might have stayed a bit too long.
Yeah, definitely. They wanted to find all the value they could in that fight. Luckily, though, they do keep Fire Giant on 3 members. 3 pretty good members to have it on, too, so the push is definitely not dead. They can definitely afford to go for some of those more questionable towers. I think in that fight, it was crazy to see how much Slayer first melted Migii in the solo gank and then beat the Awilix in a 1v1. This Pele is hurting. Not too much in total damage ahead of the Awilix, but I think you can definitely feel it in those team fights.
And I was about to make a point about a build I saw right before that fight broke out.
Ooh,
The
boy.
survival from Love, I think, can be chalked up to the breastplate from Cuckoo.
Wait. What?
There's
The breastplate.
There's a breastplate of Valor on
Oh my
the
gosh, I was
Cuckoo, and that ultimate that barely did not kill Love could be chalked up to that. I like the breastplate, but
I got
if
what you're
Cuckoo's
saying,
damage is going to be suffering, I think that's something to keep an eye on going forward. But right now, he's too busy getting blown up in the mid lane by Love, but he's got to get out of there quickly. And now Migii took the wrong route, and Control makes him pay. And all of a sudden, Wild Inferno find themselves a member down, and it's going to be a Pyromancer for Guns and Sake.
Great aggressive play again by Guns and Saki. You are making me question all of my Smite knowledge. I was looking, I was like, did Breastplate have aura protections? There's no way he was close enough to save that Awilix. But no, it's on the other team. The damage is lacking. Luckily, though, I think scaling off the mana, the fact that he's going to have that upgraded Pendulum of Ages, along with the Book of Thoth, which now I think gives 10 magical penetration, should be a little bit better. Obviously, Cuckoo's passive does the same thing as Book of Thoth. The more mana he has, the more power. So the 300 given by that breastplate still does help him a little bit in the damage.
And we did see a group up, and we saw the beginning of a siege with the trebuchet behind it, but it looks like Guns and Sake is going to go for that mid, and they're going to clean up towers before they fully commit to the Phoenix engages. We always love to see that. We harp on the patience and the smart decision-making. That was a fight they should not have taken, and they're going to ultimately make the best choice possible.
Yeah, and I do like the patience to go back and just kind of wait for this Oni Fury before they start to push down Phoenixes. I think something really popular we see, and for good reason, is taking the left side Phoenix right before you make a big push for Fire Giant. It exposes it to fire minions. Your tag can get really low health, so I like Guns and Saki not overstepping. If they wait to take those left side towers until after this Fury, I think they're going to have really good timing for the next FG fight.
It looks like Wild Inferno has shown up in the dual lane. I don't know if their goal is to contest the Fury or to take some lives, so we're about to find out. Oni Fury dropping fast, and it looks like their priorities may lie somewhere else. It looks like Guns and Sake is going to try to just simply back and prepare for the next siege. It got a little dangerous there, but ultimately everybody goes their own way.
Yep, and now if I'm Guns and Saki, I am backing, I'm buying items, buying potions, and I am straight pushing that left side until you get that Phoenix. I don't think there's any real reason to take their foot off the gas pedal right now. I think they've got themselves on a bit of a roll. Now up 9,000 gold, so it's really skyrocketed in the last few minutes. I think that has really helped them, as their Fire Giant did just wear off, so 1 minute until the big boy himself respawns.
Yeah, and I think what you said is the perfect description of the game plan here from Sake. They're probably going to potentially look for that left lane push. They may try to hang around and set up early for the Fire Giant, which I don't know if I'm huge on. It'll depend how long it takes Wild Inferno to head over there and contest. But right now, it looks like they're just kind of setting up on the order side of the jungle. Hou-Yi is lacking a bit behind, but it shouldn't really matter. But this next fight could prove to be potentially the biggest in the game so far.
Yeah, and I think I have discovered one flaw with Wild Inferno's comp. If you look at that Cthulhu's build, he has 0 magical protections, and why should he? He does not need them. He's going to be so hard to kill, even with that AMC Stinger. He's got the relic, the Thorns relic.
Oh
now
no, Slayer
steps
found himself caught off in the solo lane, Fish.
Fiddle.
Say your prayers, but he gets away. I guess they worked. But now we've got a big setup here from Sake at the Fire Giant. They are in the thinner of the 2 lanes over there, so they're going to look for better positioning by the Fire. They're going to pull it out, but this is probably a bait. You can't imagine they're going to fully commit right now, unless Wild Inferno does not contest it. It's dropping fast. They need to make up their minds that they're going to go for the steal here. Migii gets on the horse, but in the back, raining suns fall down. Cthulhu goes up into his ultimate. EmojiDaddy's gonna fall. Double kill for Ostrich. Love picks up the kill on the Slayer. Migii finds himself low in the back. Love finds himself low on the side. He's trying to survive, but he gets caught in the tornado. It's a triple kill for Ostrich in a rampage at that. And Guns and Sake, for a second, it looked like things were going the way of Wild Inferno, but now they find themselves simply 1 member down, only 3 alive. And Wild Inferno is gonna have to concede this Fire Giant.
Yeah, and I don't know why the Hou-Yi is tanking that Fire Giant, but they do get it just the same. The good thing about the Hou-Yi's build path, that crit absolutely melts the Fire Giant. I think Wild Inferno weren't really ready for that the first time around. They were forced to step up, I think, a bit quicker than they wanted to. Definitely a team that looks like they like to pick their fights. They wait for their moment. Unfortunately, Guns and Sake not going to give it to them, as now they are in a commanding lead. 26 minutes in, Fire Giant, 12,000 gold. It could be over really soon for Wild Inferno.
While I was worried about it in the mid-game, that Breastplate of Valor just proved so valuable for ChubbyOstrich as he survived the onslaught of Love. And even though he did get damage from that tornado, ultimately making him lose the 1v1, it did pull through clutch right there.
Onslaught of Love sounds like it should be an Aphrodite ability, but unfortunately not. As now we're going to see Guns and Sake group up on that left side, going towards the only tier 2 tower left standing. I think luckily for Wild Inferno, there's no guesswork about what they're going to do. They know exactly where they're pushing, they know it's coming down right now. And they're going to be able to put up a pretty good base defense here, have all their ultimates, but look at the relic situation. There are so many more relics for Guns and Sake that I think just inherently they have a huge advantage in this fight.
You know, looking at the player damage charts, we were expecting this AMC to be a potential difference maker, but so far, damage-wise, he finds himself lower on the charts. Not too much to make up, but that could be the difference so far for Wild Inferno versus Guns and Sake. As the Phoenix Siege begins, everybody buckle up, Cthulhu's going into ultimate. And here's the Cuckoo ultimate from the back, gets the kill, but Buttlover finds a kill on the Snooze, and everybody's barely surviving. Migii's got to get out of there quick. Terra and company storming down. Slayer gets the kill on TheTomcatt. They've got to retreat into their own fountain, and the Titan Siege begins.
Ambitious.
This is a very gutsy call. Titan's down to half, though, but everybody's full health. Migii's in deep trying to get the kills. Here comes a jump from Love, but he finds himself getting blown up. Control gets the kill on a Peer, and now it's just up to Migii to defend that Titan. He blinks into the tornado, and he's gonna drop. And ambitions be damned! Guns and Sake takes this set!
Yeah, really good play by Guns and Sake gunning it down there at the end. I thought they were pushing up too far, but they definitely proved me wrong. And Slayer on that Pele, I think, was a huge difference maker this map. Every time he ulted, things just went absolutely pandemonium for Wild Inferno. The jungler, the solo laner, and the mid laner, I think, propelling Guns and Sake to their victory in Game 2.
Wow. That's all I can say. I thought that was too ambitious. I thought that was too too risky, but it ended up paying off and in a strong way for Guns and Sake as they take this set and very commanding at that. Really, only in game 2 did we see much competition come out, and the map control in the beginning did go the way of Wild Inferno, but it ultimately wasn't enough for the strong and powerful game plan that came from Guns and Sake.
Yeah, definitely not. And if that's the way that that set went, that has me really, really excited for the future here of Guns and Saki. Weren't able to see him game number 1. But I think that being said, Wild Inferno had a really, really good set in week 1. A little bit of a setback here, but I'm expecting them to bounce back. I think they're a really talented team. Once they're able to play their game and get a little bit more of their pacing, I think they could really be a team to watch out for.
And with that, we are going to leave you here from our first set of the day. But stick around because tonight we do have Divinity versus Wrath of Terra at 6 Eastern here on Smite Draft League. And if you miss those games, be sure to join the Discord because every single game gets a VOD out there. So make all Nooblets work pay off. And with that, I'm going to leave you here. Best of luck to everybody tonight. Thank you to the players. Thank you for watching Smite Draft League, and we will see you next time.